Today in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to encrypt your Monero Seed manually. And to do this, we'll be using a Vigenère Polyalphabetic Cipher. And what we're seeking to do, we're seeking to take an example Monero Seed of this, of 25 characters of random words, and to encrypt it so that it looks like gobbledygook. It's like this random assortment of letters. And one of the reasons why we want to focus on manually encrypting it is because we want to do this in such a way that we are not dependent on having a computer or access to a computer or access to the internet. There are ways that you can do this that require computers, but I think in terms of redundancy, you really want to make sure that you can do this independently of anything. All you need is a pen and paper, and you can essentially decrypt and encrypt your Monero Seed and then physically keep it safe and keep it off of the internet. So Get Monero, they do have this guide on paper wallets, which I'll include a link in the description if you want to set this up. They do have a link here to a way that you can encrypt your seed using a computer, which uses this website here that you download and that you can run this. But again, as I said, I think it's better to try and do this without the need of being on a computer. And one of the reasons why you want to think about encrypting your seed is here in the UK, the government has just passed new laws to seize crypto assets without making an arrest. As you see here, it says police will no longer be required to make an arrest before seizing crypto from a suspect. And this includes the confiscation of written passwords. So having your passwords encrypted is just a safeguard for laws like this being abused. Now, I hope that these laws will actually be used to catch legitimate criminals, but there's a danger where these laws could just be used as a blanket procedure to target anyone who has privacy crypto such as Monero. And again, this law was passed to make it easier for law enforcement. So that's not exactly the bells that we want to be hearing. We want laws to be passed to further justice, not to make things easier for the police. Now, before I show you the steps, I just want to let you know that this technique is not impervious to brute force analysis, brute force attacks. Your encryption code using this polyalphabetic cipher can be deciphered using computers, given enough time. We want to make that as obviously difficult as possible. This is why I recommend combining this with Steganography, which is the way of hiding things in plain sight. So in another video, I'll also show you how to use your encrypted seed. So let's just say that this is your encrypted seed here at the bottom. Once we have this out, I'll show you then how to hide it in images. So here we have a picture. It just looks like a random meme. As you can see, it's a fully working image file. If we were then to convert this to a text file and open it in Notepad, we can scroll to the very bottom. We can see here that the encrypted seed is now hidden within this message. So we can copy and paste this. We could put this on a USB drive, and we've got a digital backup of our seed that is hidden in plain sight. And we can just switch this back to a picture. So this is just an example of, once you encrypt your seed, how you can hide it in plain sight and make a backup. So back to this article I wrote in terms of how to manually encrypt your Monero seed. We have a bit of introduction of the process here, but this is a step-by-step guide. So if you come here, you download this PDF, you can print it out, and I have the instructions here. So again, you don't need access to the internet to be able to learn how to do this and how to unencrypt it. There's 3 sheets. Page 1, the instructions. Then we have page 2 of how to encrypt it, and we have steps 1 to 3. So you follow these steps 1 to 3 if you want to encrypt it. And then to decrypt it, we just follow step 4. Things you'll need is a printer, pencil, scissors, eraser as optional. And I would recommend doing this in pencil so that you can, if you make a mistake, you can rub it out. It kind of keeps things neat. And then on the right column here, we have an example of how this is done, but we will get into the nitty-gritty details. To use a polyalphabetic cipher, you need a keyword, which is a password that you have developed. You'll need, obviously, your Monero seed. You'll then develop a ciphertext. To keep things simple, and for this example, we're just going to focus on using XMR as our keyword, and Monero just being the first word in our seed. So the first thing you want to do is you want to write out your keyword above your seed phrase, and you want to loop it. So you just keep on writing out XMR, and then you move to the next letters, and you just keep on writing XMR all the way out. Obviously, this is a printout. So as I said, you want to do this in pencil, and then destroy this once you're finished doing this process. The first thing we do is we find X on the top X-axis here, X, and then we find the seed phrase M on the y-axis on the furthest left-hand side. And then we join them, and we get J is the intersection of these coordinates. J becomes the ciphertext. And we keep on doing that. So the next one would be M. So we find M here. And then you go down to O, which should be here. And then you connect it up and you get A, and then E, B, F, and D. And you just keep on doing that process. So that's how you encrypt your seed. And once you've done this, I've got a little dotted line here that you can cut this out. And then this is what you can store in your safe, or you can use this in the steganography process that we can come back to. I also have a hint, just in case you are coming back to this in 10 years from now. You can't really remember your keyword that you used to encrypt this. There's a little hint there that you're welcome to use. Now, deciphering your text, which is the third and final page of this sheet. This is what you would use to decipher your text. You would cut the ciphertext that you cut out, you would sort of put here. There's a little placeholder here. And we basically follow the same procedure. We get the ciphertext, we write the keyword above the ciphertext, and then we follow the similar procedures. So we start with the top x-axis. We have x here, and then we go down to j, within this sort of larger area. So j is here. We find x to j, and then we know that the seed text, or the plain text, is M, and then we can spell out Monero once again. So just keep on following that procedure until you have this done. I would recommend that once you do fully encrypt your seed, that you double check it, what your actual seed is. This article outlines 2 techniques to hide your Monero encrypted seed in audio files using steganography, using additive image synthesis, also using SSTV, which stands for slow scanned television, which you can actually communicate over the radio, which is pretty cool. If you've encrypted your text and you want a digital backup, I'd be happy to do that for you using the techniques outlined in this article. I have a Monero Market listing here. Very simple. You just locate your seed, you encrypt your seed using the technique I just showed you, and then you send your encrypted seed to me via session or even a PGP via email. And then I will send you back your audio file that's encrypted. Here's an example just of an encrypted seed that has used a slow scan television. This is what it kind of looks like once you process the audio file back into an image. Now in the next video, I will show you how to take your encrypted seed and then hide it within an image file using steganography techniques. See you there.